Walks merrily down the street with the brim pulled way down low. Ain't no sound but the sound of speed. Machine guns ready to go. Are you ready? Hey, are you ready for this? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat? Out of the doorway, the bullets rip to the sound of the beat. Yeah. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Ow! Another one bites the dust. Hey, hey! Another one bites the dust. Hey! Ooh, shout! There are many ways that you can hurt a man and bring him to the ground. You can beat him, you can cheat him, you can treat him bad, you can leave him when he's down. But I'm ready, yes, I'm ready for you. I'm standing on my own to be.
And a little bit of silence brought to us from our friends in the Noise Abatement Society. You join us here tonight at our evening show.
Got some non-believers out there.
Non-believers, be a believer.
We got to do something about that, man. Yo, we got to get stupid. Yo, we got to let them know what time it is.
You go ooh and ah when I jump in my car. People treat me like a real ass dude. You fall no matter who you are when I'm up the bar. I bet you go hip hop or real raw. But the eyes and ooze is my kind of news. Pop your take in, put the car in cruise. I never heard the blues. I never drank booze cause I just rock a rhythm, let alone the blues. The L.I.s and sneak, the sneak, the peek, the look. And then you know that we never wait. I know you can't wait. It's never too late, no fear. I'm here and everything is straight. Psycho, psych.
And we're here, thanks for joining us. As I said, it's now past, so we'll get the checks in here. Claire Campbell on Twitter, thank you Claire. Get the shouts in here, and we've got Free Girly Boy, hail, Edo, yeah, just listening to Gordon. Wiggy Smith got his dinner served early, thank you. Yes, did you enjoy that show, Crackpots? Thank you very much. Right, this one, we keep onwards and upwards. We don't rest in our laurels here. Crackpot FM, only as good as our last call. This one could be good. This one could be very good. On a fishing expedition. Come on, keep missing each other as well.
Service. Hello, test. Please record a message.
Right.
Afterwards, your message will be played back to you.
Everything's for the way. There's a testing service. Away and you fling shit to the moon, you dafty. Maybe an important person to call and it's no you. Right, here we go. There we go. Right, that's it. Everything sounds okay. You heard that dafty there? That's a call I set up before I start the show. Right, everything coming through. Let me know right away if anything goes tits up.
Welcome to the O2. The person you are calling is unable.
Take this offline back a sec. Right, okie dokie. We just keep missing each other. Well, the best things come to those who wait, so left another wee message. A year ago, I was sat in the Poznan Stadium watching Ireland, Italy. 31 years ago, I was stood actually, behind the goal with the Dave Neary poke. Scotland, Brazil. I was there for those two arse spankings, and yes, you can listen to the replay of Gordon Smith arse spanking, reliving the memory of Poznan and Seville. So I'll just wait all back here. I can feel it in my water that this is going to happen tonight. It's just ready to go down. It's all about to happen. I'll talk flannel juice and gibberish because I think he's going to phone back in a couple of minutes. Everybody, use your power. We can do this. Who needs Uri Geller with mind-bending skills? Everybody out there now, will this person to call me back? Everyone say, Paul, phone Tommy. Paul, phone Tommy. Paul, phone Tommy. Okay, if we all say it, okay, we can mobilise the Belgian to call me because he'll hear us all through telepathic waves. He's on our level. He's on our crackpot level. You have to believe me, this guy is well on our level. This is going to be some brilliant chat if we could just tie this up together. So let's come on. Here we go. Call me. Hold on, I better make sure. Well, ask me to call me. I could go belly up if I don't set my settings right. I'll call forwarding. Make sure it's no forwarding to my mobile. No, I think it's going on here because it's double check. Okay. Right, here we go. Fucking phone him back again. Here we go. We're going to speak to him now. He's picking up now. Right, and remember, if anybody's hitting up with crackling, if he hears it crackling too much, you need to let me aware. The best way to do that is on the Twitter. Hit me for interactions on the Twitter. Or if somebody's got my number, text me. If anybody's listening has got my number, text me on the phone. It's on silent, mind you. Right, so we don't want that cackling checked. We're going to open up some other stuff here. So, let's see. Yes, yesterday while I was doing the call, one of the calls yesterday evening, the Bulging phoned us back and we missed it, so it was within about 15 minutes. So I gave him 2 calls. We can will this to happen. Will it to happen, crackpots? And Jet should phone the Bull Gordon back. Will we get Gordo back? El Gordo? Where was he going? Anybody know where we El Gordo went to? Where did we El Gordo go to? Sorry I couldn't do a show earlier on, and sorry I didn't get any calls done to the old administrators. Have they been court appointed yet? Are they all sorted? Have they been appointed? Right, hold on. Have they been appointed yet? KPMG, is there still discussions? In fact, what's the number for Hearts, right? Heart of Midlothian, ain't there somebody there? There's got to be somebody there, isn't there? Right. Tomorrow, God willing, we're going to phone the House of Parliament. We'll get MPs to speak to. It's the busiest day in House of Parliament. So we're getting on the old House of Parliament trip tomorrow. Who did we get last week? Oh yeah, we got Tom Harris. Tom Harris, the wonderful Tom Harris, took him to task for his Islamophobic comments, anti-Semitic Islamophobic comments. I would call it that anyway. He didn't think I was a journalist. Tried to trick me with a stupid question, and I had to tell him I come from the sales background more than the sales background, more than the on the journalism, right? Hearts, flats. We're into the Hearts contact. Who's got a contact for Hearts? The actual Hearts. There's got to be somebody there. Manchester Hearts. We'll go back down that road as well. I'm going to give it another 5-10 minutes before I make a call. Just talk flannel juice and gibberish. Everybody stand down in the house, stand down. We don't want to let this one go. I've got a good feeling about it. It could be one of the most funniest calls. The guy's got a good sense of humour. Aha, there we go. Hey? Oof, look at that. We'll be on phone on that number. Ah, look at this. Communications manager. Konstantin Kormakov. PA to managing director. Janet. Okay. Is a Parrot here? Parrot. What is a Lithuanian administrator called? You got the Lithuanian... That's your remit. You should be all over this like a rash in a bad suit. Where is the Lithuanian numbers for us to contact? Is this loud enough? Can you hear? Janet Smirnova, PA to the managing director.
Hi, this is Janet. I'm not available right now, so please leave me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you. Begin speaking after the tone, then hang up when you are finished.
I was hung up then. Right, was that crackly there? How was the sound quality in that? That was the first call. Was it a bit crackly there? Right, hold on. Right, here we go. Right. Hearts, what was that what was that one that was getting flashed about yesterday, the Manchester Hearts? What's the up-to-date story with these shysters? Anybody got up-to-date story? Where are we going for the up-to-date story? Somebody flash me a link on my Twitter if you can. Keep me abreast of it. Nothing up-to-date. Paul Kitty, Communications. Like what I'm hearing actually. Another sweltering evening here in Glasgow. It's 9:15. We're waiting for a call back, but it's not happening.
Hi there, you're through to Paul Kitty. Sorry I can't take your call just now, but leave your name and number and I'll get...
Right, flats, glorious flats. Oh, it was a train he was getting on. Oh, that's right, it was a train. I was saying it was a plane. Just getting on a train. Yes, that old chestnut there. Right. Hold on, try this one again. Not that one. It's the bottom one, hold on. There we go, so it was this number, I do believe. Right, still no calls, right, everybody, will it to happen?
Is the Vodafone voicemail service for
Right, who was that I did there? Oh, that was that crackpot. Right, let me see. What should we do here? Right, I'll take this call off air. I'll make this call off air. I'll leave a message. And see, because he's not going to phone back unless I do. But we'd love to get this one as well, so. Right, I'll take this off air. Stay there.
This is
Right, message Julie left. Right. Right, okie dokie. So I've got the jam tarts here. I was going to go into it, and I'm going to see if I can ransack my... still early evening, I've got loads of people in here. If we open this up, and in here. 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds, there we go, here we go. Now you join us tonight, a little bit of silence there brought to us from my friends in the Noise Abatement Society. It's 12 minutes to 9, 12 minutes to 9. And oh, there we go. And we've copied and pasted it, here we go. We've got another call going out now. We're waiting for a couple of callbacks back. Okay, choky wokey. If you nice wind in here, a bit stuffy. Okay, choky. Phone that old bastard back again, shouldn't we? Right, so we're all in here tonight. Phone that Diet Huns, Jakey McBakey. The sound's still here, are we still going? We're still going, yeah, I'm just adding the numbers here. Hopefully it's still going live out there on the planet. We're trying to sort some numbers out here. We're waiting for a call back. We're going to phone the Diet ones down in Manchester, some Diet Manchester ones. Here we go. Let's get some Diet Manchester. Now zombies. We can now stop calling them zombies. Huns, they're now zombies. The Diet zombies. Right, Diet zombie number 1.
The person you are phoning...
Right. Dafty McDafty, does he want to play ball? Well, that pub was Benson's, wasn't it? Yeah, we can still phone Benson's. We've still got a few here to do, but right. That's number 1 of the Dafty McDafty crew. Off. Seagull City we're in. Can you hear the sheep?
Hi, this is
Hello?
Alan Stewart.
Hello? Alan? Could you hear him there? Could you hear something? You don't hear any noises that the Skype does because it's all took off, so it's just... Come on, it's ringing. Come on, you.
Hi, this is Alan Stewart.
Alan? Hello, Alan? Hi, Alan, can you hear me okay? Alan? Alan? Hello? Alan? What's the matter with that, Dufty? Was that an answer machine? That could have just been an answer machine. Hello, Alan Stewart. Right. Oh, shut that, Dufty. Tell him where to go. Ticket secretary. He's a treasurer. Right.
Welcome to voicemail. The person you have called.
Right. Right, I'm going to send an email out to somebody here. What number's this? This is under this one. Right, email time. I'll put a tune on then. Since we're not getting any calls through, we're on standby. I'm going to change my number. We'll write another call out there. We'll dig some more. Loads of numbers here to go for it. Just need to change the number around. So we'll put a wee tune on as we change this number around here. Still waiting on a phone call. These are must be hopeless with your telepathic rays from your heads. You're not working, it's not working. You need to concentrate harder to get this crackpot to call me. Right, slow this down, send email, what's his name? Where is it? Where's he put his thing? Oh, there we go, hold on. Put this bulging on. So we're sitting here 4 minutes to 9. I'll send this email in a sec, put it in there. So, I'll copy the whole bit, I don't think I did tonight. Hold on. Right, we'll tune use man and crackpots. Where's use man to go? We want some techno, some dance, some chilled out shit. Will we go primal? Do loaded? Because we're loaded. We're absolutely loaded here. Hearts, jam tarts. These are skint. You've not got a pot to piss in. You've got no money. And we're all loaded. We're all loaded to the Sally Gunnels. Poor old Hearts,
Just what
Rangers.
is it that you want to do?
Well, we want to be free.
No money at all.
We want to be free to.
We're waiting
to
for
do
some
what
tax
we wanna
advice.
do.
Tax advice we're
And we want to
seeking
get
here.
loaded, and we want to have a good time. And that's
We're
what we're gonna
loaded
do.
and we're looking for tax advice.
We're going to have a good time.
Give us some
We're gonna have a
numbers of the
play.
zombies, the diet of zombies.
Just what is it that you want to do?
I'm gonna get deep down, I said, I'm gonna get deep down, woo, hey!
We want to be free to do what we want to do.
Away, baby, let's go!
Yes, and you're free to do what you want to do. I'm right here, Shifty Shoots. There is a message. The annual Green Brigade Anti-Discrimination Tournament is on Saturday the 29th of June, London Road, CSA. What time is it at? Tell the time it's at, brother. The annual Green Brigade Anti-Discrimination Tournament. Please get more information on that.
We want to be free to do what we want to do.
Just what is it that you want to do?
We want to get loaded, and we want to have a good time.
Right here. US of A, Rothschilds, Rockefeller Centre, Rothschilds, Goldman Sachs. Let's hit the banking cabalists. The banking cabalists, New York is opened. New York is open, we get free calls. Let's not waste any time. Give me a number in New York. Where do you want me to hit? What number do you want me to call? Load in the White House. I don't fancy Guantanamo Bay at this time of year or any time. So, a major bank. Goldman Sachs, we try to get ahead of the head honcho. Who can we do? Warren Buffett. Somebody get me Warren Buffett's office. Was that Hampshire, Warwickshire? What's his party management? What's his crackpot? What's that crackpot about McDougal's place? Warren Buffett, East Coast. We're East Coast before the shutting East Coast. What time is it? 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. the Nasdaq, the Dow Jones. Anybody get me onto the Dow Jones? I want to speak to Mr. Dow Jones. Mr. Jones. Somebody get me onto the Dow fella. The Dow's number. Somebody get me Dow's fucking number here. Come on. How hard is it to get Dow's number? Old Dowie boy. Right, 8. What number of a flat? I need to make sure I've got the right number here. Oh, for fucking hell. Where's this bond gone? Right, if at first you don't succeed, keep trying. Until you do it. Oh, listen to wee birdies tweet.
Vodafone voicemail service for
On you, pack up.
078.
Ah, fucking clown. Manchester Hearts, we're up the Manchester Hearts. Hearts, glorious Hearts. Right. Smudger Smith, should we phone Smudger Smith again? I'll phone him in the ring. Fucking number. Shite. He'll know. 1916. He'll know like that number, will he? Fucking hell. Right. These Manchester Hearts. They don't want to play ball. Transport Secretary. Let's get hold of the Transport Secretary. The Chairman, the Treasurer. They're all out to lunch. What number am I flashing up here as well? Hold on. Yeah, that was okay. Right. Let's see if the Transport Secretary's kicking a bit.
Hello?
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 Hi, I want to speak to George Hanley.
Speaking.
Hi George, how you doing? My name's Tom Gold. I'm phoning from a radio station up in the UK, up in Scotland. Is it yourself that's part of the Manchester Hearts?
It is, yes.
How are you doing there, George? I was phoning to get your thoughts and opinions on what is happening, the latest with Hearts.
It's a poor state of affairs at the moment in time, but the inevitable happened, didn't it? I mean, the riding was on the ball for a few months now. I like to think that the club, the supporters are stand by the club and will come through. They're stronger at the other side.
And I mean, I've not seen it for the last couple of hours, but is there any more updated news that you know about, or anything that's not been you can share with us that you know about?
Not that I'm aware of. We just get the same thing as what's on other social networks, and obviously what's being printed in the papers, etc.
And is the liquidator, I'm going to say the liquidator, the administrator, is that being confirmed as KPMG, or is the Lithuanian ones, have they stepped in and tried to change it?
Well, as far as I'm aware, they have tried to step in. They're trying to appoint their own administrator, so it's into the court of session now in Edinburgh to appoint the administrator, I believe.
Oh, is it in deadlock now to see who won it? And there's nothing been made official as yet then? It'll be tomorrow possibly now, yeah?
At the earliest, I would have thought, yeah.
Yeah. And you're based down in, is it Manchester, George? Aye.
Well, I'm in Burnley myself, but yeah, the supporters club's based in Manchester.
Right. No, because what we're doing, we're a Scottish supporters podcast show, and what we're doing, obviously, we're just phoning round about and getting the general football fans' opinion. Do you come up then to all your games, all to the home games?
Oh, well, come up as many as we can. Unfortunately, I now work Saturdays, but prior to that, I've been avid season tickets for a number of years now for myself and my daughter. We've got a good supporters club down in Manchester. I run about 3 to 4 coaches a season up there and down to away matches. We support the club as and where we can. We did the share issue at Christmas.
Do you think there's criminal with the company going into what they are there now? Do you think there's grounds for? I mean, if you put money into that share issue, I mean, you could lose absolutely everything. And did you actually buy shares? Were you one of the 6,000 who's bought season tickets already?
No, I haven't purchased a season ticket, but I do know members who have purchased season tickets. Obviously, the club asked for the money up front. The club needed money, so I know the fans stood by the club. But I'd like to think that when all the dust settles, that the administration will honor the season tickets, but time will tell. Yeah.
And I mean, do you know with what's unfolding behind the scenes, or do you know that people are trying to put bids in? The last I heard was there 5 or 6 bidders out there. Is there anything concrete that you know that's happening, or are you aware of people trying to get funding together to do something?
Well, as far as I'm aware, the only concrete bid that's going into the Foundation of Hearts. I know that they've asked for the direct debit as far as I'm aware, the direct debit mandate for going out this week for the pledges. To put a bid together to the administrator. We're just going to wait and see. There's a lot of rumours going round. But
what have you heard? What's the rumours? You can tell me whatever rumour. You don't have to stand up or substantiate it. Just hit me with the wildest rumour you can give me, Geordie boy, and I'll take it.
It's like supposing there's American interested in it. There's your Scandinavians are interested. There's a couple of London based. It's all rumours. It is literally all rumours.
And what's your what do you anticipate happening?
Nobody can act.
Yeah,
I mean, administrators, because obviously UCO Bankies administrators obviously are looking after their assets. They're looking after their creditors. The UCO Bankers, so obviously they want the best deal for them, and obviously Hearts want the best deal for themselves. And it's in the court. I don't know where it's going to go.
I mean, and also, I mean, the worst scenario would be to go the same way as Rangers went. I mean, is that something that you're anticipating and envisaging? Because if the bill doesn't get tied up, then that's the only way it can really go, isn't it?
The stadium is actually owned by UCO Bankiers, isn't it? As far as UBIG, the stadium is not owned by Hearts. It's held in collateral to the debt.
So this is where it gets messy, because anybody could come in and hoover up the assets here on the cheap and then do with it as they will, but it depends on how much they're going to take as a percentage. If they're the main creditors, the bank, and they're looking for cash, and if they're going belly up all over the place there, then they're bound to accept a distressed offer. That's a danger, isn't it, really?
I think that's what the Federation of Hearts are looking at, but and until they settle this, the administrators, then as I said, it's on the window at the moment. Nobody can actually make a move.
We need to wait till the administrators tied up, of course. So because last night I spoke.
It is just a sorry state of affairs, and it's got to this.
Last night I spoke to Brian Kennedy. Brian Kennedy, he's into rugby. The guy down. I think he stays down your way, down by Manchester. I was trying to entice him into part of the Maroon Knights conglomerate or consortium, but he wasn't wanting to bite my hand off for it. I was asking him would he be interested in investing, because although he's a Hibs fan, he said he could try and do something regardless if whatever he can in the background, but he wasn't willing to invest. And this is a problem you might face with Scottish football being at the Armageddon stage. There's a lot of investors who will be frightened off. I mean,
I think at this moment in time, there's 6,000 pledges to the Hearts Foundation to try to come up and an ownership. But obviously 6,000 won't be enough, they'll need more. So time will tell. Unfortunately, time will tell. I mean, the club will survive. I don't think the fans will let it die.
You reckon?
In one form or another. Oh yeah, in one form or another, the club will survive. But where will it be, who knows?
Yeah, you never know. If it's a Swedish mob, if the Scandinavian mob's a Swedish mob, they could come in and flat pack it with IKEA and you could be called yourself Kelty Hearts. would you Males be Kelty Hearts, Geordie boy? Would you go and be Kelty Hearts? Surely they're just as good as Edinburgh Hearts, you know?
I mean, I've met the lads from Stockholm, they're actually nice lads. They are actually nice lads. I've met them a few times at a few matches and a few European matches. So...
Is there people over in Sweden that are Hearts fans then, aye?
Yeah, the Hearts fans.
Oh, right. Whereabouts are they based?
They're based in Stockholm.
Oh, right. Do they come over for... Are they the ones trying to bid in for it then? Are they the ones trying to go for it?
As far as I'm aware, they are, yeah.
Right.
As far as I'm aware, they are. But, no, they come over... Oh, a good dozen matches a season. They fly over for.
Do they? Aye.
They're supporters themselves.
Got it.
Supporters.
As long as it's the right Swedish fans, you don't want an aggressive takeover by IKEA,
no,
as I say. It'll be flat pack time at Gorgie Roadway, you know.
It's I personally, on a personal point, I don't think the club will die. But as you said, when it's down to the banks, it's down to the creditors. Who knows?
Yeah. I hear you. It's definitely worrying times. I mean, it's and even I mean the other rumour that I was going to talk on earlier on, and I got around to it, was the fact that it could. Well, there was. It's not been it's substantiated. Stuart Regan yesterday couldn't confirm if this season is in fact over, and even the points deduction could be applied for the season just finished. And you could be playing in the first division, but because they're still up in the air whether this season is technically over, even though the season is finished, with international duties still happening.
The season finished. The SPL season finished on the 31st of May, so the point deduction will carry over to next season. That's guaranteed. Next season, Hearts will start in the Scottish Premier League. If Hearts win this.
I hear you. Well, we'll see. If John Brown has his way, he'll be asking for the deeds for the bank kiosk to say when did you really go bust? Was it before then? Because that's when the time when they went bust there really went. That's the time when the banks were calling the shots in over there. So we're still up there to see what happens, I suppose.
Well, we are. I mean, as far as I'm aware, the SPL committee they were available to them and decided that as far as I'm aware, the bank gets one payment.
Oh, I've just hung up on him there. That fucking line is going down bad there. How long was it getting bad for? I could just hear it. Phone him back.
Well, I lost the connection then.
Aye, mate, I know it was a dodgy line there. Aye, sorry, you were saying?
As I was saying, as far as I'm aware, the point deduction when the Scottish Premier League went through, there was no insolvency. UBIG didn't face insolvency at that moment in time, so the point deduction doesn't carry forward to last season. It'll carry forward to next season.
Obviously, with the player budget reduced, and if players get called, the 15-point deficit with a young team with no much of a budget, and a transfer embargo is just now, isn't it? Still, surely would a demotion just now not be an easier solution? Because if you're going to attempt the SPL in such handicap formation next season, it's going to be lambs to the slaughter. Surely you better say give us it now and let us go with it now. No.
Well, it would be lambs to the slaughter. I agree with you on that, but it does be more revenue for the club being in the SPL than it would be in the first division. So it'd help the finances for the following season, hopefully for Hearts to rebuild once all the embargoes and all the dust is settled.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm not speaking to fellow Hearts supporters that the hardcore will continue to go. I mean, all the Rangers supporters continue following Rangers. And I think the hardcore Hearts supporters will continue to follow no matter what league they're in.
I hear you, George. Well, okay then, listen, I'm sorry to bother you. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me, George, yeah?
Sorry?
Thanks for taking the time to talk to you, George. I appreciate you chewing the cud with me, yeah, so...
Not a problem, anytime.
Yeah, take care. All the best then.
And yourself.
Cheerio now, bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.
Right, enough of this. Where's Jakey McPakey? Many sane, sensible diet zombies we're getting here. Starting to make me feel sorry for them. Could end up greeting when I go into liquidation if I keep defending them like this. I'm going soft in the head here. Get me Benson's and Jakey McPakey. Who's got Jakey McPakey? Somebody hit me Jakey McPakey. It's okay now. Where's the sound? The sound. Yeah, this crackling shit is starting to do my frupney bits right in here. Crackle, 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 pop, snap, crackle and pop. Maybe I should move it over there. What time is it? Right. Still roasting here actually. Still warm here in Glasgow. We're still sweltering here. We're in a mini heat wave. At 16 degrees. We get to 16. So it's t-shirt time. Come on, we're still waiting for that crackpot to give me a call back. He's sitting there with his hand on the remote. Thinking, should I phone him? Yes, give me a call, Polly boy. Where are you? Polly boy, give us a call. You know who you are. We keep missing each other. Just want a wee phone call. Here we go. Right. It's called resistance. If any calls come through, we'll stop and we'll get on to it. Right. Have you got any numbers for me? Any numbers? Easy shysters if you've no, tell you.
Good evening, Horseshoe.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, is Jakey there?
It's who?
Jakey.
Jakey?
Jakey McPakey.
Oh.
Hello? I think that was is this Van Jeter again? I think that was hang up quickly. Was it no Benson's? It was definitely that one. Was that her? Did you recognise her voice? Okay, indeed it was. Right, Jakey McPakey, isn't he about? Right. A wee bit more subtle. There's no such thing as subtle in my vocabulary. Hit them with the old Jakey McPakey. If you know you're not going to get well, just come out and hit them with it. Just smack them out of bonnet peacefully. Take this, Jakey McPakey. The other ass for wee Diet Billy. Oh, right here, that's right, that's right. Yes, and so tonight's show, I meant to talk about, hold on mate, till we get these crackpots here, hold on mate, till we remember them. Where's my Twitter? Righty-ho. So voting, anybody voting? Who likes to vote? I would say don't vote, you only encourage them. 3 words, heat of Lisboa. 3 words. Hold on, 3 words. 3 words. Tune in here. Right, tune in here. Right, 3 words, 3 words, there we go. Tune in here. Kirk Lanyuk and Renfrew tonight, Airdrie tomorrow and Inverness on Saturday, Friday on Sunday, Fullerton on Monday. Anti-bed tax fed. Anti-bed tax. Tommy Sheridan doing the damage all over the UK, all over Scotland, sorry. Tommy Sheridan protesting against the bed tax. What he's all doing out there protesting the bed tax. He's burning your mattresses. I think we should all throw our beds out the window and sleep like the Taliban on the floor in caves. Yes, I think we should all sleep on the floor. Give up our beds, our mattresses, lie on the floor with a sleeping bag. Because after all, the Taliban, after being once described by Donald Rumsfeld as the most evil of the most evil, the worst of the worst, the most despotic men ever known, born ever in the entire history of humanity, and now look and behold, they're now in dialogue, eh? Had to wait till the American troops were out and it's passed over full control to Hamid Karzai, and now the Taliban. Sit down and we'll have a chat, boys, eh? You're having a feckin' giraffe, aren't you? After all this blood, and finally, let's sit down and talk, let's cosy up with each other. Meanwhile, back at the Irans, the same rockets called Al-Qaeda are now being openly discussed. Should we fund them? Should we give them weapons of mass destruction to fight against these Alawite Shia? You're having a laugh, aren't you? You couldn't make shit like this up. Except they don't make it up. This is their game. This is how they do it. This is how they roll. They back and fund whatever kind of nut job they please, and then turn around and say, hey, look, he's got a gun. Shoot him. Look at the bad guy. Orwellian doublethink. Right, we're here, live and direct. Crackpot McDougall. Chester Road, Bar. There are no phone in crackpots. Yeah, what was that London one? What the fuck were they all about? That was just crazy shit, wasn't it? That London stuff yesterday. Table for 15. Don't even know where it was. How did I manage to book a table for 15 in London? Right, who's gave me that number? That one's no button. The Cheshire number no button. You've gave me that before, here you. I'm no. Look at your numbers, they're shocking. Liam Mack. Who's Liam? Oh, Liam? How do you know Liam Mack? Do you know Liam Mack, Connor? Heroin pub. The heroin pub. The heron pub. No, it wasn't the heron pub, was it? That was the one next door. It was a Harry Chokey. It was a Harry Chokey place. Yes, the bold Liam, who was on and was given abuse by Labour activists, shocking any time. He was on Question Time, wasn't he? Question Time last week. And then he was on the one previously, I do believe, as well. He's making himself a regular on the Question Time scene. A real activist. And we wanted to get him on to chew the cuds. Hold on, that's what I was going to do. And he's hay favoured out his nut tonight. He's hay fevered out his nut. So, and they cut the grass. They've cut the grass. Or either that, he's walked past somebody that's been smoking a bit of grass and that's got his hay fever on the go. I don't know. Me, I'm just a pining shite as usual. Right, I'm just scrolling down. Where's Aid? Hold on, before we go on to this, there was a couple of... I need to invite these people on here. They were chatting earlier on about voting. Don't vote, you only encourage them. Ah, there they are, there. Hold on, scroll a wee bit more, Right, here we go. My show going out just now, talking about not the voting. Oh shit. Talking about minutes. Right, hold on, just want to invite somebody along here before I start this little part of the show. I just want to invite somebody along here. Hold on, 2 seconds. Shit. Come on, 2 seconds, people. Come join him. Right, here we go. Yes, a couple of people who I was having a debate with earlier on Twitter. Right, that's it done. Sent out. Thank you. Sorry about that, troops. Right, interactions, who sent me this? Talking about hay fever. I get a wee bit of hay fever myself. Everybody knows. Think you made a new friend. Yes, my hay fever has started. Talking about somebody else that's brought my hay fever on. Nose is running out of train. Lewington Smythe. Yes, a new friend in Gordon Smythe. Gordon Smythe. Let's see. What do you see here? You get fan, band, what? Oh, look at this. Aberlady? Who's Aberlady? Was it Aberlady? Right, who's this? Am I phoning? Oh, who knows? Let's phone it. Let's get somebody on the airwaves. Right, that last pub didn't work. It's a brain dead diet zombie. Let's hope anyway. Number no working. Number no working. Aberlady, oh, it's busy. The Aberlady number is busy. Right, what is this? The West End Hearts, Cathcart Place, K Taylor. Oh. Right, here we go. Come on, pilot your crackpot. Right, here we go. Oh. Hello?
Hello?
Oh yes, hi, my name's Tom Gold. I'm phoning from a football podcast. Is this the West End
10
Hearts?
at night, so if you don't mind, I'm going to hang up. Thank you.
Oh, you snooty cow. 20 to 10 at night. Liam, what are you doing? You're not supposed to give me numbers like that. You gave me a number in Thailand. You know what time it is in Thailand? Fucking hell. You've just got me with snooty bitch in Midlothian. Eee. And now you want me to phone snooty bastard in Hearts over in Thailand. What time is it there? 4:30 in the morning? Right, he's getting a permanent ban. He gave me too many dang numbers the other day. You're shocking. Shocking, so yeah. Absolutely appalling, mate. Appalling. Appalling. Disgraceful. Disgraceful, mate. So it is. Just not good enough. If I play this tune to try and cheer me up, and we'll decide what we're going to do to you, mate. You've now upset a wee wifey in Midlothian. And you want me to phone Thailand? Fuck it, I think I might. Thailand.
Creeps that keep a crawling, drugs that
Right, we're back here now. We're back here 80 minutes. And what time have we got here? We got to send him a number out there. Joe Boy Senior. So I would put out to you that by voting, the reason why I don't vote in this corrupt system is that by placing an X on a box, you're in fact giving them your consent. People talk about wanting independence from the UK. I say, why don't we go the whole hog and get independence from the banks? If we're sitting here thinking, oh, it's going to be better because we're going to get independence from England, independence from the UK, then you're seriously deluded. Yes, if you think things are going to be better and not worse by splitting, who's to say that the Outer Hebrides and the Shetland Isles don't turn round and say, we want to go independent as well? And then you'll be left with all those lovely crackpot orange unionists saying, feck you, shortbread salmon, we're going to take armed insurrection and we're still going to stay with the Union. So you have places in the west of Scotland who be orange Bantustans, orange KKK death squads roaming about, taking out their hatred against shortbread haggis eaters and Fenians. So you'll have a tri-party split similar to Iraq, the Kurds, the Shia and the Sunni. You'll have the good, lovely, peaceful Celtic, Fenian, Irish family being targeted and abused in ever greater numbers by your loyal royalists wanting to stay with the Union. So you have your orange death squads roaming the streets, heaven forbid. I don't want this to happen, but you can just envisage it now. Why even tempt or why even try to go down the road that could open up a scenario like this? It's not being scared of it being happening, but there's just too much that can go wrong. There's not enough upside against the downside if it goes belly up. It's not even proper independence. How can you say it's proper independence when you're tied to the Bank of England? Your fiscal control, your resources, your tax, and you're still holding on to the Queen. Oh, lovely jubbly. Lovely independence that, isn't it? Basically, we call the jam tarts through in Edinburgh the diet zombies or the diet Huns. So I would say that Alex Salmond is the diet Tories, actually selling out. People who are thinking they're getting independence, I think Alex Salmond is selling you all out. His version of independence. Is it going to be good enough for the diehards who want proper independence? So you're going to have a schism and a split there, because what independence will you get? Will there be enough to satisfy everybody? Or will it just be a put-up job, a fuzz job? Oh, as long as Alex Salmond gets more power. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So the more power that these devious politicians get, the more it sinks them in the mire. The more they sit in their ivory turrets, pontificating, telling us little plebs on the street what to do and thing. This gets their ego and their arrogance going through the roof, sky high ego and arrogance. They start patronise even more. They become more distant and aloof. Their heads become even more stuck up their chuffs, and they become ever more deluded. And if you look at the Labour fanjitas down in England, you can hear how their voices become ever more stuck up their own chuffs. Oh yes sir, free bag full sir. Away and flying shite at the fucking moon. There's a good brother we're going to try and get on who has been criticised because, just a young boy, criticised because of his accent. Well, we'll find these tough bully boy Labour activists and we'll seek them down, we'll seek them here and we'll get them on the phone. Imagine trying to abuse someone because of their accent being a bit scruffy or neddy. Well, get a load of me, you fucking fannies. Yes, I make no apologies where I'm from. I do apologise sometimes for the foul and abusive language. I don't mean to do it as much as I do. But yeah, if you're going to cast us all as chavs, neds or ne'er-do-wells because we speak a wee bit too rough for your liberal elites. Fuck your liberal elites. Fuck your Uncle Tom sellouts who sit there patronising, thinking because, oh, we can put a sentence together and look at these ruffians from the scheme. Fuck yous. Scheme rule. Right. I should put a scheme tune on, actually. So what I'm suggesting is that don't vote, you only encourage them. They're getting all the youngsters to vote. All wee Alex Salmond, all these wee shortbread punters out there telling everybody, all the youngsters, who vote their vision of Scotland. I think he's deluding a lot of people. Is it going to be a better place? Is it going to be a land of milk and honey? You can phone now and put your view across. If you think I'm naive and deluded, it's 0141 416 1888. If you're in England, it's 0151 324 1924. If you're in the USA, Mexico, Canada or anywhere else over that end of the world, it's 310, code for the USA, 001. 310, straight out of Compton on my veranda in LA. That's 310 668 1916. 0141 416 1888. 0141 416 1888. That gets you straight through to this crackpot right away. And, well, the whole reason I had a debate with a couple of lovely people on the Twitter earlier on was not to vote. Why should you vote? Because by placing an X, and the charge was put against me that because I don't vote, then I shouldn't have the right to an opinion. The reason why I have chose not to vote is by placing an X there for two reasons. That gives my consent to a system that I believe is corrupt and fundamentally wrong. And my end game is to get enough people to not vote that it would not give them the legitimacy to patronise us. There will come a point, if enough people don't vote, what legitimacy do they have over us? Eh? They get 5% of the people voting. How can they say, oh, we've got a majority? You ain't get a majority of nothing. So my end game is to get enough people to bring the system down, to lose faith in the system. My whole point about losing faith in the banking cabal is to change it from the interest-based system into a fairer, more equitable system. Interest-free money, banking that can be done at a small administration fee without the exorbitant rates of interest, and only a few people benefiting. Less than 1% control 90% of the resources. This imbalance at a stroke of a pen can be changed if people lose faith in the system. So equally, I'm asking people to lose faith in the democratic system and the way it is run. Bring in a new democratic system. The politicians and the powers that be only want you to think that by placing an X in the box, that's you, you've done your democratic bit, now toddle off like good little children, feck off and let us run the country. That's how we've got into such a mess. That's how we had the scandal with the politicians. The people just put a wee X on the box and toddled off. Okay, the politicians have got it all sorted. No, they ain't. They're the biggest liars, cheats, deceivers and bastards on the take in society. They have to be held to account. So you can't just toddle off. So tomorrow, Joy Mays are trying to phone other politicians, and it's your right too. They vote for you or they work for you, whatever that site is. Get your name, phone up if you need a number, Westminster, phone up, ask to speak to so-and-so. The dafties they've got working there, the interns are on buckshy wages. Tell them you're for the BBC, and you get the dafty there who gave us Tom Harris's number. Tom Harris's number passed over by his subordinate in the House of Commons. Lovely jubbly. Next time I'll phone and ask for some bank details. So phone up your MP. That's part of the democratic system. By phoning up and making your point in a radio show when there's a debate, by going along to a public hustings, by going along to a political activist meeting, other people with a bedroom tax, that is taking part in the democratic system. Having your voice heard. In the old democratic system in of old Greece, people used to sit around in a forum, sit around having a discussion, having a chat, and people would put points across. People who made sense, then people would say, oh, I'll vote for this, I'll have that. And that's how they would do. They would have a collective decision, make a vote, democratic vote, boom, everybody's took part. The system now is they don't allow the banking cartel, the bankers, the real powers that be, to be voted in or out. So ergo, we've got a flawed system right away. So they put these puppets on display, a whole charade, a whole song and dance, vote this one, vote left, right, vote blue, vote red. It's all a pile of shite. It's all there to confuse us, because the real people, the real power that be, the real government, the real people who control the banking cartel, the unelected, undemocratic banking cartel that sits there in the shadows, never gets voted in or out. Never. It's not even up for debate. Can we go for independence from these banks? No. So that's what annoys me, that's what upsets me, when everybody's on independence against the UK and England, we want our own Scotland. Fuck it. You're fucking off your nut unless you get independence for the banks. Independence for the banks are nothing. If you're talking about everything else, you're talking about bullshit. There's a wrong division. There ain't no division between England and Scotland. Is England controlling Scotland? Who gives a monkeys? Right? If it's an English MP, if it's still an unelected, undemocratic Rothschild banking cabalist still sitting at the top. You've got a Scottish MP who's doing the bidding and the dance work and being a puppet for the Rothschild banking cabal. What difference is a UK MP, an English MP, a Tory MP, a Labour MP, an SNP MP, MSP, whatever they are? What difference are they if they're working for the Rothschild banking cabal? If people are going to be suffering because of an unjust, unfair system? Yeah, you've got small differences that what SNP can offer and what they may be able to do, but the overall picture, look at the amount of people suffering in this country. Is it all going to get better because we get independence? The land of milk and honey because, we all can do it ourselves. Well, you think the Rothschild banking cabal is going to look favourably on us? Oh, look, they're come on, behave yourself. There's not going to be favours dished out. In fact, they could slap us good looking if they wanted to, the Rothschilds. You know, if we go against them, but obviously Salmond, he'll have courted it so as, you know, that everything's received favourably, and that's why he'll no rock the boat. That's why he wants to hold on to the pound. That's why he wants to hold on to the Queen as the head of state. That's why he'll go for independence light or devolution max or whatever they want to call it. Whatever type of fudge, as long as it's a bit extra power, and as long as he can stabilise or bring a more power to his flock and his people, then that's his ultimate endgame. More power. I just feel that it's a waste of time and effort that people are putting in when it's independence from banks that we should look for. Anybody disagree? 0141 416 1888. I have to say, your telepathic skills, crackpots. If you don't vote, Liam, How can you moan about the robbing bastards? Are you listening to me just now, Liam? Liam 3478. Shiver my timbers. Right, hold on, I'm just going to copy and paste this one here. I'm going to check your messages. I'll just send this one here. So I've been posed a question here. I'll answer that in a second. And I'll see your messages on here. So let's see, Liam, are you still kidding about Liam Thomas? Oh, Dan Bonnie Rig Hearts. 343 in Thailand. Oh, look at that number there with a 555. Right, an NCC Mick. Right, so Liam on the Twitter who said, if you don't vote, how can you moan about the robbing bastards? Because, like I say, I'm trying to cleanse my conscience. That I will go to my maker, because I believe in such silly things as that, and on my conscience I will say, I didn't vote for the most illegitimate, thieving, robbing, dirty, chancing bastards ever in the history of mankind, where currently they've got a control system system of totalitarianism that encompasses the entire globe, that the world has never seen, a system of mind control, of full spectrum dominance, where they're poisoning the crops, feeding us genetically modified garbage, poisoning the water, poisoning everything, where 1 in 2 people get cancer. These glorified eugenists are killing the planet. 30 million life species are at threat. The environment is being polluted. The extraction of the minerals to the planet and return of waste is destroying our lovely planet. Our unique global ecosystem has been destroyed by a capitalist system. So when you get down to the roots, you get down to the bottom, you get round to the nub of it, politicians have no power to change the status quo. If we want to bring a better society, we have to wash our hands of this corrupt system. So I, God willing, as long as I live, will never be fooled by a system that is set out to delude us into thinking that here's a little box, place an X and make a change, make a difference. There is no possible or conceivable difference that can be achieved for voting for these illegitimi. From the alpha to the omega, from the beginning to the end, they're money-grabbing, devious bastards. Don't you understand that if someone is so fucking arrogant to sit there and say, vote for me, this is one of the highest forms of fucking arrogance known to man, that some daft bastard can spin a whole lie and sit there saying we're doing it for the public good. We'll do it for fucking nothing. I will sit there, if people wanted me to do it, I would sit there and do it for jack shit, but I'm not going to put my name there. Real leadership comes from people who say, this guy's a fucking leader, this guy's got some nous, get him in here. Okay, and the person who's been voted in will try to deny it to himself. He will not want it. He will have to be pushed, dragged, kicking and screaming into it, because a position of authority where you can make a decision right, that affects over 60 million people in this country, and you think you're the best in this country, and their arrogance, these politician bastards sit there saying vote for us, vote for us. Oh, we ain't flying shite to the moon. You're sitting there as arrogant bastards thinking you're the best of mankind in this country and we should fucking vote for these arrogant bastards. How fucking stupid you think I am? I ain't voting for no arrogant bastard to say, oh, vote for me, vote for me. You see, because I ain't even got the confidence of my decisions that affect my family. Okay, I'm worried about the decisions that I make just for my 3 kids. Okay, so the decisions that I make for my 3 kids, I'm worried that I'm not an oppressor to them. That if I say, no, don't do this or don't do that, I'm oppressing my children, I'm doing something bad to them. I'm worried at the effects of the decisions that I make just for my 3 little fucking kids, okay? My little picnies, teenagers, the 3 of them. So, for me, it's enough of a responsibility. That's one heavy responsibility, to look after your children, to try and guide them through into adulthood, to be responsible human beings. That's a huge responsibility. I've got to lay down the law to teenagers who rear up at me, who say, Dad, this or that. Well, no lay down the law, but I've got to try and tell them, well, this is what's right, this is what's wrong. Give them a sense of understanding, give them a sense of worth and justice, and to stand up for people who are being oppressed, to have some morals and dignity. For me, that is one of the most heaviest responsibilities a human being can have, to bring up children. And that's more than enough of a responsibility for me. I don't want the responsibility. That's heavy enough for me to deal with. I don't want the responsibility of 60 million people making a decision. Do you know why? Because it's a heavy fucking job. So these politicians, they're only doing it for the money. Are they really doing it for the better of humanity? Because you sit and make a decision, about going to war and millions of people dying. These bastards, they don't give a shit. They're sitting there, oh, we'll claim for our moat, we'll claim for this, we'll claim for that, as long as we get this money put. They don't give a flying shit. It's a false democracy, it's a fake democracy, it's bullshit. Bullshit from start to finish. From start to finish, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this democracy, this bullshit democracy, when they lie to us, they lie, and they lie. Lies and deceit. It's all bullshit. All bullshit. Lies, deceit and bullshit. And it's time for a change. And the only way we're going to get change is not by voting them in and in and in and in and in. Not by voting for independence. The only way we can vote them out is to say, look, sling your hooks, we're not voting for you. It's not going to get it all changed overnight. But the one thing is for certain, if we just keep voting these bastards in all the time, nothing's get changed. Lose faith in a system at the same time as losing faith in the banking cabal. We can start our own banking system. We can start our own direct democracy system. If we can vote for Big Brother or mindless, numb, spirit-crushing dumplings on the TV with their shitey, vote for this person, then they can do it. Boom, everybody, red button. Everybody registered here, 1 vote each. There you go, boom, direct democracy. Saturday night, in or out. In Switzerland, they have a form of direct democracy. I mean, they don't bullshit about there. It's the banks who have got full control and they don't mind. They don't mind who knows that shit there. It's the banks. They control everything. They've only got kind of local government. They don't. It's full-on banking. Here in the UK and other democracies, they have this layer of bureaucracy to fool the masses into thinking, oh, we can actively affect things here. Yeah, is that right? We can affect things. Okay, of course we can. Yeah, we can to a small degree, but only to the degree that they all allow us. Look at the Glass-Steagall Act. The Glass-Steagall Act was repealed. Why was that put in place when it was away in the 30s? Because the bankers ripped the fucking market to pieces back in the late 20s and 30s. So there was measures put in place to guarantee protect the people from being shafted by these banking cartels. So Clinton, in his wisdom, took down the Glass-Steagall Act, allowed investment banks and commercial banks to merge, and lo and behold, people are losing everything. Because whatever, and then you look at the Wagner Act, the what was it called? I can't remember. Look at what happened. Workers had to fight for rights, unionised, fight for rights to stop them putting kids of 14 down the mines. How did you do that? How did the workforce do that? By collectivising and saying to the powers that be, you can't run a society on this unfairness and this injustice. Change it. And they did. But then they repealed it through time. The masters that be repealed it. So we can have small changes, but the big change that we need to work for will never be found in the hands of independence from England. It has to be independence from the banks. Liam. So that's all I'm saying, Liam. I mean, and people, yourself there, who tried to, well, the way you said there, if you don't vote, how can you moan about the robbing bastards? My whole point about not voting is to keep myself cleansed from a corrupt system. I'm cleansed from it, mate. I know how they operate. I know it's just an illusion at that part. And like I say, their majority, their right to rule, their right to govern us would be stripped away in an instant if they didn't have a mandate to rule. Right, I'm finishing up this show because I'm going to go and I've got somebody to pick up. Hold on. Right, let's see. Oh, Parrot, you're phoning us. Right. I don't hear anything. I've turned all the sounds down. Sounds to hear. Hold on, Parrot. Right, we'll get you on. We're finishing up in 5-10 minutes. We'll get Parrot on. We're starting up a show in another hour or so. Right, I've got something to do, so we'll just get Parrot on very briefly. Hold on, it's ringing. I'm ringing yet. What was your phone on? I'll phone you on your phone, that's yours. I'll phone your phone. There you go, phone number here. Right, phone your phone now. Right, a quick 5-minute call, crackpot. Get off your Parrot's perch, answer your mobile. 5-minute call, then we'll be back in about an hour and a half. Hello?
How you doing, T? What's happening?
No bad, mate, no bad. What's happening? I just saw your calls there.
No, I'm not much of a political animal. I've just listened into your last wee thing. I've just the second part of the Lost Boys Celtic history has just been released today, and primarily it's from the 1900 till 1920, and it's quite it's more political than it is talking about football, talking about Glasgow, the Red Clyde Raiders and that, and it's just. Politically wise, I feel as if since Blair came in, I think, and with the new Labour, they're all just exactly the same to you know. I mean, I think anybody that wants to be a politician is a crook. I don't care what anybody says, mate, because you're quite right when you say it's all about self-enhancement, etc. I mean, you look at that cabal that's running Glasgow Council at the moment, mate, it's frightening.
Don't even start me on those bastards.
But no, I mean, I 100% agree with what you said. You look at back when Braveheart came out and how the SNP they were all fire and brimstone, Free Scotland this and Free Scotland that, and it's got to the stage now where there's probably a good chance they'll get independence, but as you say, what are they actually going to be independent of?
And that's it, and there's too many variables that can go the wrong way. And so you should look at it always as what you're going to gain out of it. I mean, if you go and buy shares, they tell you go with a 2-to-1 stop loss. You know, go to there to take up twice of what you go and lose. So.
Tommy, we take the banking side of it out, which I 100% agree with you. we could probably fund ourselves on the strength of the oil and set up like a cooperative banking system where...
But there you go, right, but hold on, there's a variable that we don't know. I heard something there the other day about the Hebrides and the Shetland. So just supposing they wanted to stay with the Union and say, well, we don't want to be Scotland, hold on. Then the precedent has been started, the dilution of power from Westminster to Scotland. Then it started, Shetland and the Hebrides can then do it and say, we want to claim our oil now from Scotland. I mean, what do you do at that point?
But if you look at it, I mean, you're probably more educated and more versed than me being a humble Polak, but I read somewhere once that Scotland's probably get more in whisky reserves than the Bank of England's got in gold. You know, and that's just one side of it, but I mean, what Alex Salmon's not telling us about independence is, say, for example, independence does come in. Now, for me, if you live in Fife, if you live in Dundee, if you live in Aberdeen, if you live in Glasgow, it's not really going to affect you that much because our main industries and it's probably call centres, etc. But I tell you what, here's the plan, right? Shortbread.
You said that it's not going to affect us, but you don't know that. That's my whole point.
No,
I'm
but
trying to make. There's so much imponderables there that we don't know, Parrot.
No, hear my train of thought when I'm getting to what Salmon's proposing. So he's sitting in Edinburgh, probably in Charlotte Square, quite appropriately named, sitting there with old Thelma with that dodgy cash and carry 70s Barnett she's got. Just let's hope she never goes to the White House and sits beside Big Obama's missus. We'll send Janet Cranky instead. She's probably getting her street cred there. But, you know, we've got independence right now. Take the banking out of it, take the oil out of it, take the whiskey out of it. What happens to the castle? Do we turn it into a Starbucks?
And having the Queen, I mean, the whole point, they've not said they're going to get rid of the Queen, so the Queen is going to be the head of state. I mean, what is independence all about?
We'll get the castle, right, so we'll get the castle. We've got our castles, actually, Stirling, Edinburgh, wherever else she owns.
Balmoral?
Balmoral. So we've got, probably Balmoral's a private home in it, but we'll say we'll take Edinburgh Castle back, because it was just before the lizards get in. Edinburgh Tattoo's got to go. Would you agree with me there?
The Edinburgh Tattoo's got to go?
That's got to go. That's a sign of imperialistic fucking stuff in it. I mean, you look at a day when, and I'm obviously, I mean, I worked with various people and companies, shall we say, over the years, and you look today, there's Britain is now pulling out of Afghanistan, just like the way the East Indian Trading Company did in the 1850s, and they've never, I don't think even Alexander the Great managed to conquer Afghanistan, Tommy, and various British forces personnel have been told today that same getting made redundant and the territorial army is going to pull up the slack. And somebody tweeted earlier on, that's going to be 30,000 boys for housing schemes probably going to be forced into joining up that to probably complement their unemployment benefit, mate, you know. But you've also got an area to the west of Helensburgh that holds Britain's nuclear deterrent. You know, the British submarine flotilla's moving there. And that's, I mean, we're not talking about that as multi-billion pound stuff, that, mate. So, I mean, what Alex and Nicola's telling us is independence, as you say. I know what the Republic of Ireland has got isn't ideal, and we'd like to see Ireland being its own state in total. But at least when the old lizard went over to Ireland, it was a state visit. It was recognised as, this is a head of state for another country coming here. And she arrived in Wild West Britland and done her stuff. But to me, there's the political parties, if you're too fervent, I mean, if you look at that podcast that's out today, they talk about communism, really, really left-wing socialism, Celtic and Rangers fans together fighting against the Scottish FA, fighting against the Glasgow factors about things. It's a very fervent party. In Scotland in total, you see the people who went off to fight in the Spanish Civil War and stuff like that were quite a socially aware race. And it just seems to be now, we're getting very dumbed down because we don't have any big factories now with fervent trade union guys like Jimmy Reid or anything on the shipyards, and you look at guys like Alex Ferguson and Jock Stein who are very socialist because they worked in the mining industry. All these people, I mean, I don't know if you probably go into a call centre now and ask where's a union rep, you're probably thrown out. So nobody's getting any. You look at me, the local side lord, McElroy, he worked in the Hoover factory and he was put through and went to university on the strength of his trade union and is now a lord. You know, I mean, when he's been the same as Prescott. Prescott was a galley boy in the Merchant Navy washing plates, was seen clever enough by the National Union, which was more militant than any union in the UK, that's why Thatcher got rid of it. So they put Prescott through, and obviously turned into the two Jags apparition he is to this day. But we don't have any people thinking outside the box sort of thing about what's going on in Scotland, mate, you know?
I hear you.
But I mean, I totally take, for anybody to say to you, the right to vote has been earned by people jumping out of trenches and making sure that the Taliban and the fascist systems don't come into a country and take over. I'd love to see independence in the sense if it means that to me is a primary thing. You know, we might have to chip away, but that's the first step. And I'm sure when Michael Collins and all that signed his death warrant, when he signed his article with Lloyd George, he sort of didn't know where it was going to go, and they managed to go. Obviously, the occupied North was deserted to an extent, but they got the best that they could do, I guess. But with Scotland, we can't go on the way it is. But a lot of people saying the SNP, you know, if we get independence, then we can push them out the way and really go for it. But I mean, there's nothing. If you look at how a country like Venezuela was run by the great Chavez, and you know how Fidel carried on in Cuba. You know, I mean, I know a lot of people talk about Guantanamo Bay shutting down, etc. But it's a little known fact that there's the agreement that was agreed by the Americans and the Cuban government back in the day was it's actually the Cubans cut off the water supply to the American part of the island, and the Americans had to charter super tankers to bring in the fresh water. When everything sort of calmed down, there's still actually Cuban citizens who travel over to the American side of the border once a month to pick up their pension. There's still people who get pensions for the American government. So then in the 1950s, the Americans had, the conglomerates had their things all over the island. But the main thing a lot of people don't realise is there's been a lot, I know with the hate bombing, there's been a lot of talk about Obama pulling out of Cuba. He's not actually, the Americans aren't allowed to pull out of Cuba unless the Cubans want them to go.
Alright.
So if the Americans say they want to go, the Cubans can say no, and the Americans have got to stay, and vice versa. The Cubans can say to the Americans, we want you to go. The Americans say, I'm not leaving. And it's one of these crazy things about agreed in the Cold War, and it's an absolute paradox.
Oh, shit.
You want to do it right?
Was that? Well, I was posting a message here to Dwayne there. She's fucking doing my nut on. I was tapping away a message here. Well, listen, I'm going to have to bolt in a minute, but listen, I'll finish off. What was the whole thing that I was going to say was that be careful what you wish for, because if you look what happened in Ireland when Britain decided to give 26 counties back, was what was envisaged by the brave men who were executed, assassinated, James Connolly, Thomas Clark et al. What was given by Britain? Was that what they envisaged for? And there's many Pakistani people who I've spoken to and have the opinion that what happened when Britain gave partition to Pakistan, many Pakistani people say that this was maybe a curse that the Pakistan people could have done without, because to actually govern yourself places a huge responsibility, and it's better to allow someone else to govern you, because, and the thing that I was saying earlier on, that people who want to, do it or take control, then fine, You know, India, which Pakistan was part of, you know, it wasn't perfect for the good few hundred Muslims that were there, 100 million Muslims that were there. But the one thing is that once you allow a country control of its own destiny, right, yeah, it's all well and good, right, but when they start acting, countries start acting in nationalistic pride, when countries can do it, look what happened to Pakistan, look what happened to Ireland, right, when Britain, hold on, mate, I finish, when Britain has got their hands involved in their meddling ways, right, it's what Britain and the UK Empire will see as fit. So if Scotland says independence, if Britain and the UK don't like it, then there's huge trouble ahead, because Pakistan and Ireland, are they been utopia lands of milk and honey for the Irish and the Pakistanis since they were given their small bit of independence in various degrees? The two lands have been torn apart, no? In Pakistan, what's happened, and in the north of Ireland, all because of, you know, Britain said, well, here, go your own way. Whatever they're going to give Scotland as independence is going to be in their terms, and it's too much trouble that's going to come of it.
I mean, it was a Scottish middle classes who, due to the Darien project failing in Central America, that basically made us have to join the Union. I mean, I'd finish off with everybody's seen on Twitter. Everybody's seen on Twitter this apparition organisations who want to keep the Union together. The fact that this body are groups who I don't have really any time for any of them, I respect, they've got their own ideals and beliefs. The fact that they don't want Scotland to leave is my main catalyst for us actually to leave it, because when you take the Scotland, when you take the St Andrew flag, the saltire out of the Union flag, which was probably running about for 1707, you take that out of it, it gives the North Wales a bit more leverage for them to get a bit of independence. The only part of Britain, the British Isles...
Bro, I'm stopping. I'm out of the time. I'm running well late here. Can you get you back on later on?
If you're good.
You there? It's 25 past. I'm bolting the now, bro, right? You there? Can I hear you there, bro? I've just started the whisper here. You there? He's away. Right, I'm bolting here. I'm running late. Look at the time. Arrivederci. Catch you soon. Hail, hail.